It was midnight when the sky over the Pacific Ocean turned bright blue. At first, people thought it was lightning, but the light did not fade. It grew stronger, spreading across clouds like fire. Satellites stopped working, radar screens went black, and every ship at sea froze in confusion. Something massive was falling through the clouds, slowly and silently. In a small coastal town, a fisherman looked up. The ocean began to glow beneath the clouds. Then came a deep rumbling sound, like thunder trapped inside the earth. A giant shadow broke through the mist and crashed into the sea, sending waves that shook the shore. Within minutes, military helicopters surrounded the area, their lights searching the waves. What they found was not a meteor. It was metal, dark, broken, and alive with strange blue light. Pieces floated on the surface, and from the wreckage came small shapes moving weakly in the water. The soldiers aimed their weapons, thinking it was an attack. But when they pulled one of the figures onto the deck, they froze. It wasn't human. Pale skin, glowing eyes, and marks like stars on their faces. Yet they were not fighting. They were scared. They spoke no words, only sounds filled with pain and fear. The commander lowered his gun slowly. "They're not soldiers," he whispered. "They're refugees." All around the world, news channels lit up with the same headline. Unknown beings found in Pacific Ocean. No one knew who they were or why they came. But above the clouds, far beyond human sight, something else was moving in the dark. A fleet following their trail. And it was coming for Earth. Morning came with silence and fear. The wreckage from the crash floated across miles of ocean, and rescue teams worked day and night to pull out survivors. The creatures were weak and trembling. Their silver skin burned from entry through Earth's atmosphere. Doctors tried to help, but nothing about them was familiar. Their blood was blue. Their hearts beat twice as fast. Inside a secret base near the coast, scientists and soldiers stood in shock. The aliens could not speak, but they understood emotion. When humans offered water, they bowed their heads. When shown kindness, their glowing eyes softened. One of them, smaller than the rest, pointed to the stars again and again, trying to say something urgent. After hours of effort, translators used light signals to understand their message. What the aliens showed made everyone's heart stop. A hologram appeared above the table. Giant ships burning a planet, cities turned to ash, millions running in panic. The refugees had escaped a war. Their world was gone. General Harris, watching the projection, whispered, "So they weren't invading. They were running." The alien leader pressed a trembling hand on the hologram and then on Earth's image, as if asking for safety. But before anyone could answer, alarms began to sound across the base. The sky turned red with warning lights. Satellites in orbit detected new signals. Dozens of unidentified ships entering the solar system. The refugees looked terrified. One of them spoke a word humans finally understood through the translator. Hunters. The control room went silent. Humanity had given shelter to those who fled. But now something terrible was coming, following their trail straight to Earth. And there was no way to hide. The next night, the world changed. Every screen, every satellite, every observatory pointed to one place, the dark edge of the solar system. Something huge was coming closer. At first, scientists thought it was just debris, but soon the truth became clear. It was a fleet. Not one ship, not 10, hundreds. In the command room, tension filled the air. The alien refugees watched the display, their glowing eyes full of fear. They spoke softly in their strange language, their hands shaking. The translator buzzed, then turned their words into a message humanity would never forget. "The hunters found us." Images flashed across the screens. Planets destroyed. Burning skies and massive warships feeding on the energy of dying worlds. The hunters were not soldiers. They were destroyers. Machines and creatures merged together, wiping out every life form they found. The refugees had escaped them once, but now Earth was in their path. Panic spread through governments. Some leaders wanted to hand the aliens over, hoping the hunters would leave. Others refused, saying that betraying the helpless would mean losing humanity itself. In the middle of the debate, the alien leader stood, placing a hand on the table. He spoke through the translator, his voice calm but full of sorrow. "If you give us away, they will still kill you. They kill everything." Silence followed. Then General Harris looked at his team. "We stand," he said firmly. "Earth doesn't surrender the innocent." Across the planet, armies began to prepare. Engineers worked with alien scientists. Satellites were turned into shields. Humanity had made its choice. For the first time, Earth wasn't just defending itself, it was protecting someone else. And the hunters were only days away. Days turned into nights as the world united under one mission: survive. From every nation came engineers, soldiers, and scientists, all working together for the first time in history. The alien refugees shared what little they had left: blueprints of their old defense systems, fragments of shield technology, and the knowledge of how the hunters fought. Human hands rebuilt what alien minds remembered. Old space stations were turned into defense outposts. Fighter jets were upgraded with plasma weapons. Satellites were fitted with energy shields that glowed faintly in orbit, like blue fireflies in the dark. In a massive hangar near the coast, Commander Reyes walked beside the alien leader, Lyrian. Both had lost something. One his home, the other his world. They didn't speak much, but they understood each other through silence. When Reyes saw the newly built hybrid ship, a mix of alien metal and human steel, he smiled. "She'll fly," he said. Meanwhile, the world prepared for the worst. Children were moved to safe shelters. Civilians built underground bunkers, but even in fear, hope burned strong. People painted flags on walls, writing one message across cities: "We protect together." Lyrian watched humans work endlessly, amazed. "Your people, they fight for others," he said quietly. Reyes nodded. "That's what makes us human." But then one night, alarms screamed across every control center. The radar screens filled with red lights, hundreds of them. The hunters had entered the solar system. Their ships blotted out the stars like dark waves in space. From orbit, cameras showed their approach: silent, massive, unstoppable. Reyes looked up at the sky. "They're here," he whispered. Engines roared. Soldiers stood ready. Humanity had built its shield, and now the battle for Earth was about to begin. The first attack came without warning. The night sky over Earth turned red as fireballs streaked through the clouds. The hunters had arrived. Their ships were enormous, dark, sharp, and filled with glowing red veins that pulsed like living creatures. Energy beams hit the upper atmosphere, shaking the ground below. Human and alien forces launched together. The hybrid fleet rose from Earth like a wall of light, jets, drones, and starships all moving as one. Commander Reyes led the first wave. His voice echoed through every radio: "For Earth, for them." In orbit, the battle began. Lasers cut across the darkness. Explosions flashed like silent lightning. Human ships took heavy hits, but they didn't break. Alien shields absorbed deadly beams. Every destroyed vessel bought time for another to strike back. The hunters were stronger, faster, but they had never faced humans before. Lyrian, inside the command center, watched the chaos on the screens. "They fight as if every life matters," he whispered. Down on Earth, the skies glowed orange. Civilians prayed as meteors fell into the sea. Above them, Reyes pushed his ship through the fire. His engines burned, his armor melted, but he kept going. The Hunter flagship loomed ahead, giant, alive, pulsing with red light. His systems were failing. He knew what he had to do. "No more running," he said softly. With a final command, he turned his ship toward the enemy core. The impact was blinding. A massive explosion tore across the sky, and for a moment everything was silent. Then, one by one, the Hunter ships began to fall. Earth was scarred, but still standing. Humanity had won, but at a cost no one would ever forget. And the war was not over yet. The sky was quiet again. The smoke faded and the stars returned. Pieces of broken ships drifted above Earth like silent reminders of the price paid. The hunters were gone, destroyed, or retreating into the endless dark. But their fall had come with great sacrifice. Commander Reyes's ship never returned. Across the planet, people came out from shelters staring at the sunrise. For the first time in weeks, the air felt calm. The oceans reflected the golden light, carrying with it the wreckage of two worlds that had fought side by side. The refugees, once strangers, now stood among humans helping clear the ruins and heal the wounded. In a rebuilt command center, General Harris placed a small metal badge on a table, the emblem of Reyes's ship. "He gave us more than victory," he said. "He gave us unity." Lyrian bowed his head in silence, holding a small crystal that glowed softly, their way of mourning. Soon, the first joint colony was announced. Humans and refugees would build it together, not on Earth, but on the moon, a symbol of hope beyond fear. Engineers worked hand in hand, laughter mixing with alien voices. The beginning of a new alliance written not in treaties but in trust. From deep space, new signals arrived, other species who had heard what happened. The message spread across the stars. Earth stood for the helpless. When a young reporter asked Lyrian what he thought of humans, he smiled faintly.